होने में और बहुत कुछ होने में इतना सा फर्क है, एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में कि अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन के कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है, वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी, ये एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुर से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और सातवें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा है। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा है। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
A very good morning, a very good afternoon to each and everyone. Franchise India teams welcomes each one of you to our business opportunity of a chai webinar series. This is the digital representation of the business opportunity which we have got for each and everybody who has joined us today. Franchise India, an association where our aim is to provide maximum business solutions, franchise suggestions to each and every potential business buyer so that they can take a conscious decision of selecting the right franchise for themselves. And we truly claim that no one sells more business than us, because we have helped more than 80,000 investors in getting the services from our site. And we have helped more than 5,000 international and national brands to expand their business with our 80+ offices. It is our privilege to invite and welcome management team of Franchise India, Gaurav sir and Sonia ma'am. During the course of the webinar, they'll be taking all your queries. We'll be having the panel discussion and they'll be sharing their insights as well as viewpoint with each one of us. The business opportunity which we have got for each one of you is inLIFE Wellness. It's an Australian-based health and wellness studio chain. And today we have invited Mr. Scott, who's a founder and CEO at inLIFE Wellness chain. Thank you so much, Mr. Scott, for joining in today. Good evening to you. And we welcome you to showcase your brand to all the investors, all the friends who have joined us today. So we welcome you. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. So, well, I'll just start talking about the brand now. There's a lot of places I could start with this discussion. I do want to touch on the infrastructure and the support and the systems. I want to talk about the history of the health and fitness market, where it's been and where it is now. But really, I want to talk about what's in this opportunity for you, for the investor, and what I'm looking for, and the things that I think are really attractive and inspiring in a business opportunity. So I think it would be a good place to start if before I speak about the inLIFE wellness business model, if I speak about how it evolved. So if we go back to the 1990s and the 2000s, there was a lot of, well, large gyms, and they're called big box gyms. They're 20 to 30,000 square feet. They have lots of equipment. You know, they have reception and the change rooms and the child minding, and that's how gyms first evolved. You would know those type of gyms. There's the fitness firsts and the golds, and, you know, depending on where you are, there's Virgin and gyms like that. Those gyms are actually good value for money. You know, the problem is that the attendance is low. You know, up to 80% of members don't go, and the average member goes just over one time per week. So the reason is that a lot of people find those gyms a bit intimidating, and there's no level of service or accountability or care. So what members found is that they could probably get the same result by going to the budget gyms. Now, the budgets took a lot of market share from the big boxes. And when I say the budgets, you would also probably be familiar with those gyms, the Jets and the Snap and the Anytime Fitness, the 24/7 models. They had even less staff, very low cost. The big box gyms had large costs, and the budgets took a lot of market share. Now, moving on from that, we're in the era of the boutique studio. So whereas the big box and the budget gyms have anywhere between 1,000 and 5,000 members, the boutique studios, they have anywhere between 150 to 250 members. So that's very, very achievable. These members are happy to pay a higher price point for service and to actually go each week and to feel like, you know, they're cared for. There's a big governing body in fitness, and it's called IHRSA, IHRSA. It's an American organization, and every year there's a convention and they do these big surveys. And one of the recent findings is that 90% of people want to train in a group. So a lot of people don't want to go do their own thing at the gym. They're not sure what to do. They're not motivated. They'd rather go to a studio, have an appointment, do a class and leave. So that's how we've developed the group exercise boutique studio business model. I've owned 11 health clubs. Now, I've made every mistake you can make. I've had a lot of success, but I guess I'd like to talk about the learnings. And I've owned gyms where they cost millions of dollars to open up, but I've now developed an opportunity where it costs around $70,000 US to open up, and you can profit anywhere between, you know, $100,000 and $250,000 a year. So I want to make it very attractive from an investor perspective. Now, again, on the health and fitness market, the last 10 to 15 years has seen a lot of high impact, high intensity exercise, and these businesses have done incredibly well. Places like CrossFit and F45. Now, those business models really target people who are quite fit and strong and relatively young due to the way that they exercise. Now, inLIFE Wellness taps into a largely untapped market in the slightly older demographic, 40 to 70-year-old, primarily females. Now, these ladies, they're not going to go to CrossFit. They're not going to go to F45. They're not going to go to Fitness First. If you look at a lot of fitness industry marketing, it's even the imagery, it's young, fit, strong people working pretty hard. Now, you know, people don't want to always have to work that hard. The foundation of what we offer in terms of exercise is based on a lot of Pilates, a particular style of Pilates called Reformer Pilates. And it's fun, it's interesting, it's stimulating. And we fuse that with a lot of other different types of exercise, so the member gets lots of variety. But let's talk back more about the inLIFE Wellness brand. The statistics in Australia and the USA say that 15% of people have a gym membership or go to any sort of formal fitness facility. So if 15% of people have a gym membership or go to a studio, what are the other 85% doing? And due to the way that we position our brand, we attract a lot of that 85%. So if you can imagine, a lot of gyms are competing against each other for that 15% market share, which we call the red ocean, you know, like the sharks all trying to eat the same thing. And we're looking for some blue ocean where we attract a lot of people who may not consider themselves to be gym people. They want an exercise offering that's smarter, safer, more sensible, it's more achievable, and it still achieves terrific results. So that's where we're coming from in terms of our market positioning. remember I said that it's a big step for a lot of people to join a gym. So we like to make it a place where people feel comfortable. We have a big focus on culture, community, customer service, care. We have a bit of fun as well. So as soon as someone steps foot in the front door, they feel comfortable with us. Our member retention is double the average industry. So in the fitness industry, the average member joins a place and they stay for a bit over a year, where we average closer to 2 years. So rather than have a focus on sales, which we do because you need to, we have a big focus on member retention. Again, we've got a whole bunch of core values, which include things like gratitude, being a positive environment. You know, we're warm, relatable, friendly. We're not elitist. We're not exclusive. We say we're inclusive. We are for the average person, okay? So we're not for movie stars or athletes. We are for regular people who just want to have a quality of life. They want to get themselves exercising 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week. We want to be great value for money for our members and also for our investors. We have a focus on teamwork, and what we offer is very appealing to our target market, and we have lots of variety. So people don't ever get bored. My history in work is starting work in the late 90s in huge gyms, big gyms. And that was pretty great. I learned about the benefits of large gyms, you know, value for money, quite a comprehensive offering. And I also learned about the limitations of large gyms. From there, I went to work in very, very small studios that offered one-on-one personal training. I also discovered the benefits of those. You know, we knew everybody's name, members felt comfortable. They achieved great results. We had the opportunity to educate them, inspire them, motivate them. The only problem with that business model was it was financially accessible to a very small percentage of the population. So I thought there must be a way to provide great value for people and still have a very attractive business model. Now, I'm a big fan of a business that makes pretty huge annual profits. And when you do that, you've built an asset that is sellable. And on top of all that, the business must be easy to operate and it must be low cost to enter. So there are 4 big criteria, 4 big boxes that we have to tick. I've had businesses that are very complex. They make lots of money coming in, lots of money going out. They're very hard to run and they're not scalable. So the inLIFE Wellness business model is based on requiring around about 100 square meters. On screen there, it says 300, but we're closer to 100 square meters or 1,000 square feet. Could go up to 1,500 square feet. It's just on one level. It's a nice open space. And when the premises is a smaller size, there's lower fit out costs, lower entry costs, less equipment is required, less ongoing costs, but the membership income is still the same. One of the beauties of the business model is that the revenue is generally on monthly direct debit, which means it is reliable, stable, predictable, and it just comes in every month. So cash flow is excellent. People generally pay in advance. We're an attractive proposition to landlords. The inLIFE Wellness business is operated either by fitness professionals such as Pilates teachers or group exercise instructors or personal trainers who want to take the next step in their career. And because of our low entry point, and many of those expenses in the entry cost are financeable, because of the low entry point, the investment is less risky and the upside is just as big or greater than our competitors. Now on the industry, okay, this is a huge growing untapped market with only a couple of players. And I think there's a huge opportunity over the next 5 or 10 years to get in and grow the wellness sector. So we talk about health and fitness. We also talk about wellness. Wellness is a broad word. You know, we're not doing massage. We're not, we're not naturopaths. We are just offering a slightly softer exercise solution. So, yeah, I really feel like through all my experience and my lessons over the last 20 years, I've arrived at a business model that's attractive to members, attractive to investors, and it's very financially savvy. What else can we speak about? So I spoke a little bit about the brand philosophy, methodology. Again, I've been a franchisee. I was involved with a franchise network and I owned 5 franchises in a fitness chain in Australia. So I really feel like I know what franchisees want and I know what makes a good franchisor and what makes a bad franchisor. I'm looking to partner with the right master franchisee. The very first business I was involved with had a heavy focus on business systems. So through that period, I learned a lot about business systems, marketing, leadership, member retention, exercise, of course, but and over the years, I've fine-tuned those systems to, again, come up with a business model that, has been validated, it is profitable and it is scalable. One thing I've learned is that, you don't need a huge premises and, systems aren't something that excite a lot of people, but a business systems is what makes a business be able to grow. It makes it consistent in terms of the service we provide. Strong business systems mean that you can have a business that operates without you, and when the time is right, it can be sold. So we've got a very comprehensive set of documented systems. We have infrastructure in place for training every member of staff that works in a facility. But again, a lot of the business models based around low rent, low fit out costs, it's scalable, it's profitable, and there's low equipment costs. We have relationships where we get equipment at cost price. And one of our big unique selling points, I guess, as a franchise company is that whilst a lot of franchisors are focused on their brand and the end user of the service, as in the member, and so they should be, our focus is on the franchisee. So we see the franchisee as our customer, and we know that when we look after them, when the franchisee is happy and their business is thriving, everything else tends to take care of itself. So we have a big focus on the franchisee. Back to my experience, like I was with a franchisor, and you have that feeling where you don't get a lot of support, and it's quite I guess it's quite a flat feeling as a franchisee. I mentioned that, from an exercise perspective, you might be wondering how we're different to like other big gyms. We do focus on Pilates. And Pilates is very attractive. I know it's just a sort of relatively emerging market in India, but, it was emerging here in Australia and the USA 5 years ago. And then it just sort of tends to take off when people discover there's another way to exercise, and it's to be honest, it's just a lot nicer. So that's a good thing. The business model, it's like I say, it's light on costs. The main expenses generally are rent and instructor wages. The instructors are not employees, they are contractors, which again makes it easier. And when you do the maths on having 200 members paying a certain price point, the weekly income is attractive, and it's relatively easy to make a profit of a few $1,000s a week, which of course over the course of a year adds up. Not sure how deep we want to go today in terms of the business systems, but we do run group exercise classes, and those classes are systemized. They're on basically video that runs through television screens, and that's why we can provide a consistent service. It's very helpful to the instructors, and the members really like it because they've got something to follow along to, and there's still an instructor taking the class. So we can talk about that in more depth, but it's a big unique selling point. All the technology is taken care of. We have a CRM, an app, a website. They all communicate and integrate seamlessly with each other. With Pilates, I suppose worldwide, you've got a lot of just local suburban studios. Jane owns a studio and Fred owns a studio, but there's not many chains. And even the ones that are chains, they might just offer a form of Pilates, which after a while becomes a little bit limiting. We do offer a range of classes, but the theme is still the same. It's low impact, high intensity, And if you're a member of a gym, right, again, bear in mind, I've been doing this for over 20 years. Whenever somebody joins a gym or a studio, they've always been somewhere else and they're coming from somewhere else, which means they left somewhere else. So we ask ourselves, how can we retain people for longer? One of the keys is variety, among other things like community and service. And we have systems in place for member appreciation and service, which, you know, when you retain members for longer, you save money on marketing, plus the happy members refer more people, which costs nothing in terms of a new lead. Probably most of the things I wanted to cover today, but again, we do attract members at the studio who they don't want to go to large gyms. They don't necessarily want to work really hard. I mean, mind you, they're not elderly or incredibly unfit. They still want to work out. They just don't want to go to those big gyms. They want a friendly environment. They want to feel appreciated. They're slightly older, and yeah, they want to have fun and achieve some great results. So I'm looking to expand this brand globally. I'm looking for people who would be excited about the opportunity to get in at a relatively early point in this journey. We're looking to go to India, Middle East, Asia, USA, Canada, and the UK. Not necessarily with you. However, if you're interested in that, we can talk about that. I'm really determined and excited about providing as much help as you require, you know, or as little. But I am here to help you, and I'd like to build this brand to have over 1,000 studios globally. Every system, every piece of support and infrastructure is taken care of. You know, some is going to require modification for international markets, and that's fine. That's all achievable. But yeah, I really want to be great value for investors, for franchisees, master franchisees, and just make sure this is a great decision for you. Aside from our exercise, we offer things like workshops and seminars. I'm just going to pull up another screen here. Maybe I can share it, but maybe not. Yeah, we offer lots of things. So we have a big value proposition. We do believe people can work relatively short hours, make attractive income, and have an asset saleable. Just might keep flicking through that presentation, please, Anshul. Maybe to go down again, that's the way. But yeah, I mean, there's a slide there about myself where I've owned a bunch of gyms and I've, you know, employed lots of staff and trained them. And, you know, again, if you're operating on a 30 or 40% profit margin, it's very achievable. I mean, personally, I've done over 30,000 hours of one-on-one personal training, and I've instructed about 7,000 classes. So I've got a pretty intimate understanding in regard to what makes a terrific workout, what people want from a workout, what they want from a gym, and what they don't want. Just a few other sort of fun facts before I let you go. We do believe people can do work they love with people they like and receive loads of support. So, you know, becoming involved in a franchise network, we figure that support is one of the reasons you're here. If you didn't want support, you would go do it on your own. When I made my first decision to open a business, which was back in about 2004, some people told me that opening a franchise would be a soft option as a franchisee, but I always saw it as a smart option. And I just learned so much. You know, you get better training and support. It still is your own business. You have the power of a brand. It's safer and smarter. You're using a business model that's proven. The costs are lower because the franchisor has the ability to purchase things at a lower cost. The systems and the technology was all taken care of, and the franchise network I was with was growing, and I grew with it. It was really great. So yeah, we do like to provide all the structure you need, all the systems you need, and all the support that you need. We like to provide you with a framework and a little degree of flexibility so that you have some autonomy. We find that more rewarding. We minimize the risk, we maximize the upside. We like to reduce stress as much as we can with a low cost business model and a really strong, reliable, recurring source of revenue. with as little as 150 members, which is very easy to get. 150 members in a studio, franchisees can make six-figure annual profits, and it's a very low maintenance business model that requires just a few team members and a little bit of admin. So yeah, we have a little saying that you do work you love with people you like, the way you want, with loads of support. I could probably talk all day about this stuff, but I mean, probably the last thing is that we do really care about lifestyle. Is one of our core values for our members, but also for our franchisees. So business can often overtake your life. We do want people to, work 15 to 30 hours a week, make 150 to 300 grand a year, with a few key team members, getting lots of support and having a business model, and just making sure the rest of your life is in order. You've with your family, travel, your own health and fitness, and ultimately, with the inLIFE wellness framework, it gives you the flexibility to have a business and a life of freedom. So that's my intro. I'll hand it over to you, and I look forward to any questions as well.
Thank you so much, Scott, for the wonderful presentation. And I will echo that the fitness industry has evolved over the last many years, and especially the last 1 or decade. And today we see new forms of exercise for flexibility training like Pilates, which improves your body posture, muscle strength. And I would also say you're also very right on your reflections on what the industry has become today. It has evolved. And friends, the value proposition which inLIFE Wellness is giving for their partners in India is first and foremost, their focus is on retention. And if you look at the users today, and that's a global phenomena, and even in India also, users are shifting from one place to another, and that is happening very quickly because they have little, or I would say negligible, loyalty towards a particular center. And this is resulting in a major drop in retention rates at fitness center. And that's a big focus with the company. And the second is also on the pricing. Earlier, the Indian fitness industry would typically, charge on upfront payments, and irrespective of how much you used their membership over 365 days, the client, the end user, would be billed for the entire period. And this a lot of breakage, or I would say underutilization of the spend on the fitness. And very recently, we've also seen a new segment of users which has emerged, and we call them we call these users as the new world users. And these are people who want to pay or they want to spend, based on the utilization, and they want flexibility to occasionally or regularly, work out of different fitness centers based on the convenience and desires. And at the same time, they're also looking at lower entry barrier, to get started. And so I would say these to become a very big, value proposition for any end user to come in. And equally, from a franchisee perspective, your operating costs are low. It does not cost too much off on the equipment because unlike the conventional gym industry, which is too high or heavy on the equipment, which takes a huge investment on the equipment, so this is comparatively low. So friends, I will also request if you have any questions, please put them in the Q&A box and we'll take it up with Scott. And Scott, just to start off with, I will also request, while you did give an overview of the industry and also the opportunity per se, but would you want to talk about the investment it would take and maybe you want to bifurcate that investment into different heads, typical investment towards equipment, infrastructure, interiors, and what kind of franchise fee are we looking from the Indian partner? Would you want to comment on that?
Well, I've been sort of discussing that with Venus and Anshul Sharma and Anshul Bansal, but are you asking me for the fee for a master franchisee to purchase the rights, or for a franchisee in India to open a studio?
For both, so one would be an area franchise fee where we're looking at a bigger partner, and the other would be a unit franchise. And if you give some maybe ballpark understanding of typically, what this investment would be, how much typically, the investment in a Pilates studio versus the traditional gym investment, and a little bit on the operating expenses, how many trainers we need, what kind of staff that we need at the studio. I think this would help us in understanding the business at large.
Okay, I can answer all that. That's a lot. Okay, so I'll just start with one thing at a time. Big gyms, they cost $1 to $2 million to open up, sometimes more. I had a gym once, we spent $500,000 on treadmills, but the Pilates studio, an inLIFE wellness studio, costs 70,000 US. Okay. That's the total. That includes the initial franchise fee, which is $20,000 to $30,000. I've got $30,000 in the financial, the initial capital outlay. But again, like, I know what it's like as a small business owner. I wanted to keep the franchise fee on the lower side. So 20 to 30 grand, not quite finalized yet. However, I will say for the first, what we do here, for the first 5 or 10 people, we make the fee lower as an incentive till we get some traction. Now, for a master franchise territory, I was looking at 300 grand to sell that. And so that answers your question about the master franchise right fee. The franchisee initial franchise fee. And then your other question about expenses. So if you look at a business model, and again, pricing for the Indian market, where I've been dealing with Anshul about that, but and again, the rent. So the studio model is based on, say, for example, a monthly income. I'll just pull it up here because I've got the most recent figures from Anshul, and I just want to make sure I get it correct, because we had a bit of discussion last night. Some of the figures are in US dollars and some are in Australian dollars. But in terms of the financial projections, so we're looking at a monthly income by the end of year one or basically, if we're talking now I've got the figures here in Indian currency, but just to keep it quite, simple and straightforward, we operate on a monthly income of about $30,000 and a 40% profit margin. So, the expenses end up being something like $16,000 to $18,000, with the rest being profit.
And typically, sorry, go ahead.
I beg your pardon. I was just about to answer one last question I think you asked. Sure. So we offer group exercise classes. A studio is going to have something like 50 classes a week. Now, 50 classes a week is going to require a team of around about 5 instructors taking 10 classes each. Some instructors might take more, some might take less, but 10 instructors, and they get a rate per class. What was your question, Sonia?
Sure. Scott, what I was also trying to understand, and you can maybe, give maybe your own understanding of, what you have witnessed in Australia. Typically, if we want to make, one center sustainable, what is the number of subscriber, or I would say members, ideally one center over a period of 1 year? We understand the initial, say, 2-3 months it takes these members to be added. But if the center is running, say, 6 months to 1 year, typically, what is the number of membership, or I would say subscribers, any center ideally needs to have?
150 to 200. It's very profitable. 150 members is very profitable. So taking that a step further, or taking it a step back, when we open a new outlet, we do quite a strong, comprehensive pre-opening marketing and sales campaign. Okay, now there's 2 main strategies that you can implement. So for 6 weeks prior to opening, we do a strong local marketing campaign, mostly on Facebook. The beauty of Facebook is you can target a very small geographical area and make an offer. So we have a lot of promotional videos that makes the new business look very exciting. And then we say to people, okay, for $29, you can trial the studio for 2 weeks. Now, our aim pre-opening is to get 100 to 200 trial members. So on day one, you've got 200 trial members. Now, what those people are doing is trialing the studio. And after their trial finishes, it's our role to convert them to regular ongoing members. And our conversion rate is 60 to 70%. So the goal would be to, again, 200 trial members before you open. Converting at 60% means that you're going to have 120 members after the first month, and you're cash flow positive. That is our aim. And now that trial strategy is our main ongoing marketing strategy. So for the potential member, it's got a lot of value because the trial is very cheap and they receive a lot for it. So there's no risk to them. There really is no obligation for them to join up. But you know how I said the biggest challenge, it's not really a challenge, but the biggest thing is getting someone to step through the front door. Up to that point, we're not in control. When they come through the front door, we're in control. We can show excellent customer service and care and find out what the members' goals are. We build rapport, talk about their exercise background. We do a one-on-one session with every new member. It goes for 30 minutes. Most people that come to us have never done Pilates before. So it's important that we show them how to do it. And even that, I mean, aside from showing them Pilates, it just builds a relationship. So when their trial period finishes, we can say, hey, Sonia, how did you go? I know that you did 4 classes. You think it's something you might like to stick with? And yeah, like I say, 70% of people really do say yes. Aside from our direct debit membership model, which is most common because it provides the most value, some people choose to purchase a class package so they can buy 5 or 10 or 20 classes. It works out to be more expensive per class, but some people just prefer that for reasons you said earlier, you know, like they're not on a direct debit system. They just want to pay for 20 classes and that's a good cash influx for the business. And the member just uses those classes whenever they book into a class.
And
a big thing too is that we actually don't have contracts. This is the first time in my career that I've never had contracts. And ironically, it's the best membership retention we've ever had. So imagine that someone comes and does a trial, they get looked after, and then we ask them to join a membership that has no contract. Like, there's no reason they would say no.
And typically, Scott, you know, how much would it cost for a partner to put the entire setup? You know, is there a ballpark investment that we can share with our investors? Typically, how much would it cost for somebody to open one sector?
I thought I might have answered that already, but it's 70,000 US.
Okay.
Yep, possibly a bit lower. US. But 70 is
sure.
What's the word? It's the conservative high figure. It depends on a couple of factors, like you want to choose a premises that doesn't require much fit out, no construction, maybe just paint and carpet and mirrors. And then that includes the equipment, that includes the upfront franchise fee. It includes any other fees like council regulations, uniforms, all those silly things, signage.
And this is pretty much almost 50% less than the traditional gym's investment. This is almost 50%.
No, it's 50% less than any of our direct competitors in Pilates. It's about 1,000% less than a gym. So gyms are big. They've got all that electronic equipment, all that big bulky weight training equipment. Our main cost is the reformer Pilates machines. Now, I have a relationship with a supplier where I get those machines very cheaply and I pass them on to the franchisee at cost price. I don't make any profit on that. I just want to make it more accessible for people to open a franchise because, you know, if that's the case, I'll do well out on the back end of that.
Sure. And Scott, which would be the cities of initial interest? You know, are we targeting very specific cities where we wish to enter for both area and a unit?
In India?
Yes.
I'm going to be guided by Anshul and Venus on that because you have a better understanding of the market. Venus indicated that currently in India, you know, Pilates is seen as somewhat upper class, but we're targeting more of the upper middle class. So yes,
maybe locations like Bombay for that metropolitan cities like the capital of India, which is Delhi, Bangalore, Bombay, Hyderabad, so Chandigarh. So these are typically the top 10 cities where we would have a larger part of consumption coming in, and these would become the rollout, so to say. And Scott, you know, because you emphasized on retention of your clients, and that's something a lot of gyms really don't focus on. And you rightly mentioned, you know, people come, they pay for the entire year and they don't even consume. So what is your guidance on the retention? You know, are there tried and tested, I would say, things that you've been doing to retain the clients, or maybe to, you know, maybe get more clients? Is there something that you want to share inputs on?
Yep, I'll share something and I'll share a few business and personal philosophies. But I mean, a lot of health clubs will spend $30,000 a year on marketing and they'll spend zero on retention. So we have a structured and systemized, we call it a member appreciation calendar. So once every 3 months, a member receives a gift. Now, the gifts, there's a range of gifts. I'm in my office now. I could go and show you one, but this week we just posted everybody a water bottle, you know, a 500 ml water bottle, and it has our logo, and at the bottom it says thank you. Last quarter, we posted everyone a handwritten thank you card. The quarter before that, in Pilates, people wear these special socks with grip on the bottom. They're called grip socks. we posted everybody a pair of grip socks. So the thing is, they get it in the mail. It's like a present, and there's a saying that the things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. Now, it's really easy to not do that, but it's pretty easy to do it as well. And members put it on their social media. They say thank you. They say, I've never had a gym send me a gift before. The funny thing is, the gift costs about $1.50. So is it worth it? I mean, members here in Sydney, they're paying $59 a week. They're paying $240 a month. So it's simple maths to put the money back into it. Aside from that, it's not just cold hard maths. We do it because it feels good, and we do appreciate our members. And then they refer somebody that pays $3,000 a year, and all of a sudden that gift has paid for itself 50 times over. So that's what we do. Now, we have with any franchise network, there's a monthly royalty and a group marketing fee. Now, a lot of the group marketing money goes towards those member appreciation gifts. So that way we know that franchise owners get busy, or we don't want people to get lazy either. We take care of the member appreciation for them. That's probably our big thing, just having something that's, in my definition of a system is that it happens for every member every time. It doesn't happen when you feel like it. It doesn't happen for some members, but not others. So we need to ensure that if I was going to be known for one thing, it might not be the best Pilates classes in the world, but it's going to be the best customer service and retention in the world. I get quite fascinated with culture. You look at big companies like Virgin and GE, how do they keep the positive culture when they go so big? But, I follow a lot of sport and organizations that do well. They've got positive culture. It starts at the top and it permeates every aspect of the organization. And there's a culture for everything, punctuality, professionalism, friendliness, customer service, sales. And we just put a big emphasis on that. But yeah, the members really are the lifeblood of the business, and we've got to look after them because they have choice. They could go somewhere else. We just want to make sure they keep coming to us.
Absolutely. And Scott, I will also request now, Anshul Sharma is also here. And Anshul, if you can take questions with respect to the training of partners and also recruitment of staff, which is very important in a business like that. So if you want to take up these questions with Scott, and friends, if you have any questions, please use Q&A and we'll take it up with Scott shortly. Over to you, Anshul.
Thank you, Sonia. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Anshul.
Scott, you talked about the systems, the training procedures and all. How would you help the franchisee in India with all those things, the systems and the training procedures that are there?
Well, any staff member that goes to work in a studio has to go through our certification program, and any franchisee has to go through an induction process. So there's a website you can look up, inLIFEPilatescertification.com.au, and that has a range of courses. So for example, a staff member, someone who was going to come and instruct group exercise classes, they might come to us already qualified, in which case they need to complete all our courses, do practical assessments and basically just pass them. Some people come to us unqualified, and we go through the whole qualification process, which is actually an additional source of revenue for us. So yeah, back to that website, inLIFEPilatescertification.com.au, there are 14 courses on that website. Now, one of the courses is owning your own studio. And in that course, we basically teach people how to be business owners. If there was a franchise partner in India, there would be a thorough training process where they are trained on every aspect of the business, and they would be running through those courses. In addition to that, they would have access to license that program to train their own staff.
Okay, and what is going to be the duration for this?
If somebody is opening up a business, there is a 2-week training program. Now, it's not necessarily 2 weeks full time, but they need to be exposed to every aspect of the business. They spend 2 weeks in an existing studio with the other qualifications. So with the learning for the courses, there's a few aspects to the learning. There is an online course. So people complete the online course, which is a combination of reading, watching video and quizzes. And then there's an in-person training component where we do, depending on the topic, there could be 1 or 2 or 3 days in person where we cover a lot of stuff in small groups. And then after they've done that, there is practical hours where the person would be in a studio participating and observing and contributing and being assessed. So it's quite a thorough and, I guess, theoretical and practical approach to training that is quite flexible, but yeah, and people, we give people a bit of a time frame to do it as well.
Thanks for answering, Scott.
Okay.
Yeah, we can take any questions that the participants may have.
Scott, thank you so much. And friends, I would just like to add, because we're looking for an area franchise opportunities, especially in the metropolitan cities, and being an international brand, we would request if you are looking for further information on the breakup of the financials, and we have not shared that in the webinar, you may reach out to the office of Fran Global, and we'll help you connect with Mr. Scott and the team to help you understand the financials at length, and also the proposition for a master franchisee, or I would say area franchisee that we're looking for. And before we close, Scott, I will also request if there's a message that you want to share with the entire audience who's listening to you.
I'm just really excited about the opportunity. And if anybody is interested, you might currently be in fitness or you may not be in fitness at all. Please know it's a good opportunity. It's very safe. It's got a very high potential upside, but I'm really excited about working with you and helping you be successful. I really believe in a win-win. If you win, I'll win. The end users of the service will win. The India franchisees will win. Everyone has to do well. It's not idealistic. It just works better that way. I do believe harmony is a currency, and if we get along well, but I will, really bend over backwards to help somebody. It's an exciting opportunity for me, and I want it to be a great opportunity for you. I'm not greedy. I'm looking to do a good deal with the right person. And so if anybody is interested, please reach out and I can expand upon or go into more detail, especially with the financial side of it when we speak next.
Right. That would be very, very helpful, Scott. And I will close with saying that, India is a value market, and value pricing, like you mentioned, is something which is, of paramount importance to your business model. And we have kept it very, very inclusive. And this is what, the market is all about. Even the locations we're looking at and also the area we're looking at is something which is very, very manageable, where we can even look at locations which are neighborhood markets, which do very, very well, or even corporates, where a lot of people, especially employees in these corporates, go on morning hours or towards the end of the day. So these two locations can work very, very well for a business format like this. And I will request friends that you can reach on the hotline number of Franchiseindia. And I will also request the Fran Global team to put in their email ID and contact number. You can they can reach out to you, and you can also reach out to them for any questions that you might have. And the number is 9717683838. That's the hotline number. And the Fran Global team will also share their own email ID where you can reach out and connect with Scott. Thank you so much, Scott, for being with us today. We really appreciate your presence and time that you've taken at an hour like that, considering we have a difference of time in both our zones.
Right. My pleasure. Yeah. Thank you, Sonia. Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Over to you, Archana.
So thank you so much, Scott, for joining in today. Have a great evening ahead. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sonia ma'am, for hosting this webinar. We would like to thank Anshul Sharma, Anshul Bansal for joining in today. Dear friends, thank you so much for joining in today. And we wish you to join us for our biggest franchise show, which we are organizing for each one of you. We are inviting you to join us for our Pro Expo. This will happen on 4th and 15th of September in JW Marriott's Aero City, New Delhi. 2 days of big business for each one of you, where we have invited more than 150 brands. So your chance to have face-to-face interaction with these 150 brands. Please join, please do registration right now so that you can join us on 4th and 5th of September. And you want to have more information about different business opportunities, you can reach out to us at our business hotline number, which is 9717683838. Please save this number in your phone book so that you get a regular updates from our side. Also connect with us at the different social handles. We are available at Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, as well as Twitter. You want a guidance and expert advice from our management team, you can get so by joining them at the LinkedIn platform, information on your screen. And today under our Bharat Franchise Show, we wish you to join us for our Lucknow Chapter. The show will start at 7 p.m. where we have invited the brands, founders and directors from top 5 companies, different vertical, different brands for you. So please do registration either at our business hotline number, or you can go to Facebook where we have shared the registration link. And tomorrow, under our business opportunity of a chai webinar series, we have invited the Cuisino team. It's a leading multi-brand cloud kitchen business opportunity for each one of you. You can start this particular business only with an investment of 13 lakh rupees. The founder, Mr. Gautam, would come and will have an extensive webinar on his business opportunity. So please do registration today at our business hotline number. I'll just repeat the number for you, 9717683838. So please do registration right now. And as we always say that we are there to help you with the maximum business opportunities. We wish you to join us for our different physical events, which we are doing in Pune on 21st, Ahmedabad again on 21st, and Kolkata again 21st. So you wish to join us for these 3 different physical events, you can either connect with us at our business hotline number, or you can connect with the local team of Pune, Ahmedabad, and Kolkata. Thank you so much once again for joining in today. Have a very safe day ahead. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you, friends. Thank you so much, Scott. Bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Scott.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you
Thank you.
guys.